What is going on, everyone? I was actually recording my NBA Finals podcast, and when I was done, my Twitter feed was blowing the hell up, and I see a move that Chuck Fletcher went out and made. And the Flyers acquire Matt Niskanen for Radko Gudas. On the surface, you're upgrading. Matt Niskanen, I know he's 32, I know he's not what he once was, and he's getting older, and he's mid-30s now, but you're getting a nice, solid, veteran defenseman who can help out this young core. And you're getting rid of Radko Gudas, who was a physical guy, but he wasn't the greatest player ever. No, sadly, I think he was our best defenseman last year, and that's really pathetic, and that just tells you how bad the Flyers really were. But when you dive into this, the Flyers take on a 2-year contract for $5.75 million for Matt Niskanen. 32-year-old, 80 games, 25 points, finish -3. He normally has a better plus-minus than that. Okay. We have some cap space this year. I'm not pissed off about it. You upgrade. But here's where a question mark just flows through my head with Chuck Fletcher. And if you couldn't tell, I don't know how I feel about Chuck Fletcher. He's taken 30% of Radko Gudas' contract at $3.35. We finally have cap space. And we're taking Radko Gudas' contract. When I look at Matt Niskanen, I just don't know if it's worth taking on all this money for it. I would have went in this direction. Allowed Radko Gudas to stay for one more year. He would walk at the end of the season. Now you have a lot of money to play with, because you won't have the 5.75 on the books for Niskanen, and you won't have the 30% of the 3.35 mil from Radko Gudas, and then you can go out and have more money and look at other defensemen. That's how I would have done it, because Matt Niskanen, to me, that's a right now move, and this narrative that Chuck Fletcher is running with, grab all these veterans and let's go make a run. And I just don't know if that's how it's going to be. It's going to take more time than that, and that's just reality. I've seen Chuck Fletcher work before. I've seen what he did in Minnesota. For you Eagles fans out there that are Flyers fans as well, he's the opposite of Howie Roseman. He's bad when it comes to the money part of contracts, and you've seen what he did in Minnesota with these long-term contracts, and it didn't work out. That's my biggest scare with Chuck Fletcher. I'm not going to say, this is the worst move ever. This is the most horrendous move ever. I'm not going to say that. I like the ballsiness of going out for the Kevin Hayes thing. As long as he signs him, I'll like it a lot more. If not, it just shows how embarrassing we are as an organization. I'm not going to kill him for this move, but it leads me to believe that there are question marks with Chuck Fletcher. I always stated I will give him a free pass and I will let him do his work. And once I see his work, from there I will make a judgment. Well, so far, there are still some concerns and some scared. There's just some feelings inside of me that make me concerned and make me scared moving forward. I just don't love the logic when you dive into this deeper. When you are a GM, you need to dive into this deeper. It's not first level thinking when you're a general manager. You got to think ahead. You got to think forward. Yes, Matt Niskanen, good player, and we'll help you out right now. Yeah, a little bit. But we finally have cap space. And Matt Niskanen's not going to be the difference maker in moving forward as an organization to where we want to be in the playoffs. With Radko Gudas' contract coming to an end after this upcoming season, I would have let him walk. And I would have looked at this 5.75, almost $6 million, and the 30% of Radko Gudas' contract and say, well, what could I get for that? Looking into next offseason, or even if it's making a trade and having someone's contract. Now, listen, it's not like his finishing moves are done yet. If he goes out and gets someone like Trouba, and then matches Trouba with a young player that's on this defensive core like Provorov, or Niskanen matches him with some younger defenseman on this team, I'll think of it differently. We'll see where it goes. We'll see what else he does. If he adds to this decor with more veterans and can match them with the younger stars, maybe I'll feel a little bit different about it. But my initial reaction as I just see the news and I look at this to a deeper level, I'm just confused. I'm just confused on how Chuck Fletcher is looking at this. That's all. And I think that's fair. Let me know your thoughts on this. I'm very interested. But we do pick up Matt Niskanen, and he's an upgrade from Radko Gudas. I'm not denying that part of it. He's better. And he's a veteran, and he's been around the league, and he knows what he's doing out there. You can take that for what it is. Thank you for watching. See you next time.